Number 11, Cassidy Pettinger. Number 16, Maria Kaschak. Number 17, Riley Mann. Number 19, Tammy Taylor. Number 22, Natalie Belcia. Number 23, Amanda Britton. And number 35, Maddie Welch. The head coach of Central Michigan is Jeremy Grove. Assistant coaches Ian Collins and Taylor Steele. A junior midfielder from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Number 5, Nikita Jacob. A senior midfielder out of Carrollton, Texas. Number 7, Chelsea Washington. A redshirt junior from Greenville, Ohio. Number 9, Nikki Cox. A sophomore from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Number 12, Sarah Allen. A junior midfielder out of Valley City, Ohio, number 19, Sophia Barr. A sophomore midfielder from Macomb, Michigan, number 20, Mackenzie Ruber. A freshman defender from Upper Arlington, Ohio, number 21, Audrey Shea. A senior defender from Cypress, California, number 26, Maureen Kennedy. A sophomore midfielder from Littleton, Colorado, number 27, Alexis Miller. And a senior midfielder from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 28, Hannah Dolphins. Director of Soccer Operations, Bernie Compton. Assistant coaches, Dan Ball and Aaron Kielmeyer. And in his third season at the helm of the Orange and Brown, head coach Matt Fannin. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that everybody please rise and direct your attention to the flags at the north end of the stadium as we honor America, as well as all those who have served, those who are serving, and those who will be serving in our armed forces with the singing of our national anthem. Singing our anthem this evening is a first-year graduate student majoring in vocal performance from Allen, New York, Miss Carolyn Anderson.
And welcome into Cochran Stadium, everyone. Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith along with you tonight, as tonight's matchup features the home Falcons and the visiting Central Michigan Chippewas. And real quick, we'll go through your starting lineups. Central Michigan will send these players onto the field to start. First, it's going to be number 6, Marley Bringard, followed by number 8, Katie Coleman. Sheila Magan wearing number 9. Cassidy Pettinger wearing 11. Maria Kaschak, 16. Riley Mann wearing number 17. Wearing number 19, Cammie Taylor. The goalkeeper is number 20, Zoe Reed. Natalie Belostil Belcedo, pardon me, wearing number 22. Amanda Britton wearing 23, and Maddie West wearing number 35. And the Central Michigan Chippewas are coached by head coach Jeremy Grooves in his first season.
And for your Bowling Green Falcons, at wearing number 5, is Nikita Jacob. Number 7, Chelsea Washington. Number 9, Nikki Cox. Number 12, Sarah Allen. Number 19, Sophia Barnes. Number 20, Mackenzie Ruber. Number 21, Audrey Shea. Number 26, Maureen Kennedy. Number 27, Alexis Miller. Number 28, Hannah Dolphus. And at goalkeeper for the Orange and Brown, number 33, Kathleen Duvey. They are coached tonight by their third-year coach, Matt Fannin.
And Falcons coming out in their home whites with Bowling Green on the front, orange numerals on the back. Central wearing their maroon and gold tops, gold numbers on the back, white on the front. Falcons currently in first place in the Mid-American Conference with 12 points, undefeated so far in MAC play. Central right behind them at 9. Zach Smith has your first half play-by-play as the ball is set down. Take it away, Zach.
At kickoff, it is 70 degrees here in Bowling Green, Ohio, although it still feels like 70, but with that cold wind coming in from the northeast at 9 miles per hour, we'll see if that holds a little bit of a problem for the Falcons as the ball is won by the Chippewas to start off the game. The Chippewas come into this game off of a win on Sunday as a whistle's going to get called, so free ball.
They're going to call that foul on Nikita Jacob. She just knocked over the Chippewa midfielder there, so early free kick for Central.
The Falcons won last game the Chippewas won last game against Northern Illinois on Sunday where they won 2-0. The Falcons also come off of a win beating the Ohio University Bobcats on Sunday in Ohio 3-1. Free kick is not successful by the Chippewas as the Falcons are able to defend that. Big key for the Falcons is going to not be giving many free kicks to the Chippewas. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Chippewa ball. BG ball, excuse me.
As it looked like that, the Central Michigan player didn't catch the number, just got a little too big of a touch on it, so Falcons get an early throw in here.
The other big stat to mention, the Falcons are undefeated here at Cochran Soccer Stadium. Ball drives down, and great save there by the goalkeeper of the Chippewas, Zoe Reed. Just a little bit, not enough there for the Falcons to get that over her hands, and she just scoops it up off the ground. As for the Chippewas, their goalie is going to be in neon green tonight, and for the Falcons, you've got Kathleen Duvey back there wearing all gray as the Falcons possess the ball on their side of the field. Kathleen Duvey has played in 11 games so far this season. She has only not played in 2 of them. The Falcons are 5-3-2 when she has started. So her impact is felt tremendously. Another drive by the Falcons is unsuccessful. The Falcons run an interesting formation. They run a 3-5-2 formation. Whistle's going to be called on the Falcons.
As offsides there, just by a hair. The assistant official on the far side called that one. Our officials tonight, Kevin Fiker, the center referee, assisted by Connelly Campbell and John Spizak, and the alternate official, Nicole Green.
Back there to take the free kick is Zoe Reed, which is sent over. Great leg on Zoe Reed, right into her counterpart's arms in Kathleen Duvey. That's a second free kick already by the Chippewas, who, as Jacob mentioned to start off, are right behind the Falcons in MAC play. It's a 2-on-2. And right into the hands of Zoe Reed, as it looked like it was tipped a little bit by the Chippewas to not allow a clean goal.
And it's going to be harder to get a goal past Reed than that tonight. She's played 9 games, only allowed 5 goals this season, and is 6-1-2 so far on the season for the Chippewas.
there's a reason that both these teams are fighting for first in the MAC. And it all starts with that goalkeeping position. It's going to be a battle tonight between Kathleen Duvey and Zoe Reed. The Falcons have 12 points, whereas the Chippewas have 9. They are tied with Ball State in second in the MAC. So it's going to be interesting to see the implications of this game, considering how many points get put on the board. The Falcons are on a 4-game winning streak coming into this evening, beating all MAC opponents to get to this game tonight as conference play has started, beating the Akron Zips, the Buffalo Bulls, excuse me.
Not the Buffalo Bills.
Not the Buffalo
Wrong
Bills. That's
football there, Zach.
The Kent State Golden Flashes and the Ohio Bobcats. The ball's won by the Falcons, but a whistle's going to be blown. So the Falcons are going to go ahead and get a free ball of their own.
And that foul's coming against Marley Bringard.
Going up the field are the Falcons, winning that free kick, going faster pace, try to catch the Chippewas off guard. There's only about 4 white shirts down there right now as the Falcons are trying to rally. And that whistle's going to get blown.
And another offsides call on the Falcons. That time it looks like they just caught Nikki Cox offside in the middle of the box. A great send there, and really an opportunity squandered by the Falcons.
The Falcons are showing that aggressiveness, but that aggressiveness has led to 2 offsides calls. Zoe Reed is back there in the goal to kick it off for another free kick, the 3rd for the Chippewas. This one does not go all the way to the goal as it's met at midfield by the Chippewas, and Bowling Green maintains that possession. And it's going to be out of bounds, Chippewa ball.
Yeah, Audrey Shea just put a little too much trying to pass that outside, went out right in front of the benches.
The Falcons are playing a little bit of a passing game with their 3 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 2 forwards. So the Falcons run that interesting lineup of stamina and another whistle.
And this time offsides on the Chippewas.
So giving one right back.
That's already the 3rd offsides call on both sides tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that.
That's going to be another big thing, just not allowing teams to hurt themselves. That's what coaches really talk about all the time. Bowling Green ball is going to get sent up to about midfield, and the Falcons are pushing, showing a little bit of aggressiveness. But intercepted on a pass by number 22 of the Chippewas. And the Falcons have been playing really good defense so far tonight, not allowing much to get to Kathleen Duvey in the goal. Falcons passing it around amongst their midfielders to get it back to midfield. This ball spent most of the time this half on the Chippewa side of the field. Yet another opportunity, and wide to the left from our view here in the press box. And it's going to sail out of bounds. So a goal kick for Zoe Reed and the Chippewas.
Didn't see who took that shot, but it just little wide there. So Falcons are getting down and past the Chippewa defense. It's just now a matter if they can get closer to the box and test Reed more, as an errant touch there from Riley Mann sends that ball out at midfield, so the Falcons will have another throw-in.
So great job there by the Falcons. As Jake mentioned, it's just a matter of that accuracy getting met up. The ball's going to be into the left corner and going to kick it out of bounds, trying to get it off of the Chippewa player, but it's going to be yet another goal kick for Zoe Reed. So great job there by the Falcons again. Showing that aggressiveness, just the accuracy is not there and just a couple mistakes. So definitely something that Matt Fannin is going to want to talk to with his team as subs come out and we just start this game. Chippewa ball going to be driving down the field, and it's going to be won overall by the Falcons as their defense prevails. Ball sent back to Kathleen Duvey. just kicked out of bounds as the Chippewas were pressuring. So throw in for the Chippewas.
Yeah, if you're the Chippewas, you got to be happy with just what Mann and Coleman were able to do there. They couldn't get, or Duvey really didn't have an option to pass, and Coleman too close to attempt to just put a boot on it and clear. So the Chippewas now threatening down low.
Back down in the corner, it's going to go right to Kathleen Duvey. So she's going to get an opportunity to send this ball back onto the other side of the Chippewas. Back when I used to play soccer, and from the soccer I've watched, the philosophy always was keep it out of the box. And that's exactly what Kathleen Duvey was able to do on the last go-around, and this Bowling Green defense has been able to do, is not put Duvey under much pressure, as the ball is going to be sent out of bounds for a Bowling Green throw-in. But for defense, it's all about keep the ball out of the box. So great job there by the defense. Throw in to BG. And Bowling Green is going to lose it to the Chippewas. You had a player down the field. That was number 17, Riley Mann, down the field. And the ball is going to be sent yet again to Duvey. So both goalkeepers are getting a lot of leg work today.
Yeah, both goalkeepers. We're going to see that a lot. These are two spectacular goaltenders in the MAC. And really, good goal play wins and loses games, matches in this league.
Falcons do not have numbers down the field right now. There's only 4 Falcons as they just try to get down there. Another long kick, just trying to set it up, and the header by Maria Kaschak just gets it out of the box. You gotta like the aggressiveness by the Falcons, but there's maybe a little too much, as another whistle's going to be called. So free ball for the Falcons. They're going to get a free kick.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous area of the field, right on the edge of that offensive third for the Falcons. And it looks like it's going to be, so I can get the number here. 26. Maureen Kennedy will take it. Falcons only keeping 2 back.
And wide, just a little up high and to the right. So it was a good effort there, but a little too much aggressiveness.
You could say in the immortal words of a Bob Uecker, that one was just a bit outside.
So it's going to be yet another goal kick for Zoe Reed to send it back to the Falcons. The Falcons have only taken 1 shot, that was their second shot, excuse me. So the Falcons are showing a little bit of aggressiveness, but the accuracy is not there. Another ball has an opportunity. No offsides called, sent right into the hands of Zoe Reed, making a wide receiver-like catch out there, not allowing the ball to get past her to save that shot.
And Nikki Cox there, she had a beautiful angle at the goal. Reed just able to get her hands on it. But probably the best chance for the Falcons so far, and that being the first shot on goal of this match.
Another whistle, and it's going to be against the Falcons.
I think that one goes against Sophia Barnes.
So just
hard to see there exactly what the foul was. It was kind of one of those, you see it a lot. My old coach used to call it the phantom foul, where the players would all jump up and the official would assume someone hit a head. But another dangerous area for a free kick here.
Katie Coleman is going to take the kick, and it's just going to be headed out by the Falcons and kicked out of bounds.
So rolling. Looks like that might stay in.
And it's going to be kicked right off the shin guard of a Chippewa. So great heads-up play there by the Falcons. It looked like it was going out of bounds for a throw-in by the Chippewas, but the Falcon defense stands firm yet again. Throw-in is to the Falcons, and now it's a Chippewa throw-in.
And just good physical defense there from the Chippewas keeps the Falcons and Nikki Cox from being able to turn on that one and carry upfield.
That throw-in, though, is right to a Falcon player, and it's going to go wide for the Falcons, who are going to just try to get it back up to midfield, but it's going to be met by the Chippewas. Sent up by Nikita Jacob. Just sent up. She's pretty far up. And no offsides is called.
Yeah, that's going to be the first corner of the match. As I believe that Sarah Allen was carrying in there and just couldn't get a touch on it. The Chippewa defender comes down, knocks the ball out. So first corner for the Falcons. We'll see
Maureen Kennedy go back there to take that kick.
Corner kick, Bowling Green.
First corner of the match, as Jacob mentioned, as Sarah Allen was driving down the field. She was wide open on the left side of the field, just couldn't do it. That kick is wide. The header is won by BG, just did not go the right way as it sailed to the right of the goal and not into the goal, and it's going to be a goal kick. So the first corner of the game is mute. Zoe Reed yet again to kick it. Zoe Reed so far in this game has the only save so far, as the Falcon defense has done a great job of not allowing Kathleen Duvey to take many shots. 4 shots faced for the Chippewas, only 1 save, as the Falcon defense is going to be tested yet again as the Falcons' number 21, Audrey Shea, just sends it out of bounds for a Chippewa throw-in. This is the side of the field the Falcons really would not like the ball on, and so far it hasn't really been down here all that much.
And an obvious handball there is that just bounced up off the ground there. Got number 11, I believe, Pettinger in the right hand. So
the ball's going to get sent back to Duvey. Duvey's just going to dribble a little bit in the goal box and send it forward to the Falcons in an effort to reset to midfield. The ball has been on that right side of the field, or from our side, or from our perspective here in the press box, the far side of the field.
Beautiful move there from Allen to get clear.
And it's going to be sent into the corner. Another Falcon attempt. Chelsea Washington's over there in the corner. Nobody on her. And the header right into the net. Goal, Falcons!
I think that one went off the head of Cox.
Chelsea Washington. Beautiful pass to the header to Chelsea. Nikki Cox is going to get credited for the goal. Beautiful header to get it in right past the hands of Zoe Reed. 1-0 Falcons.
And just, they had a send on each side. They sent it from right to left, or from the far side into the near side, rather. Falcons then had a chance to send it back, and Nikki Cox just able to get her head on it. And Falcons take an early 1-0 lead. That goal at 15:45 of the first half.
That ball, a little bit of an aggression move by the Chippewas, just kicked right out of bounds. So Kathleen Duvey is going to get an opportunity to kick it off yet again. And the Falcons just going to send it back up to midfield. So great aggressiveness there by the Falcons. The aggressiveness finally pays off of their 6th shot on goal. One finally, or the 3rd shot on goal, one finally goes in. Pass from number 16, Maria Kaschok, into the box is won by the Falcon defense, but the Chippewas continue to fight through it. And goal kick for the Falcons.
Aliyah Miyakova comes in after the goal for Chippewa. As now Katie Cox comes in to the match, and she will replace number 28, Hannah Dolphus, as we get the restart.
And the Falcon ball is just going to get put at midfield on the Falcons side. Not at that midfield stripe yet. A little bit of passing there by Alexis Miller to Nikita Jacob, and it's going to get sent up to the left side into the area of Sophia Barnes, as she was wide open on the left side of the field. And that kick is going to get sent to number 17, Riley Mann, and just Kathleen Duvey continues to do her thing, picks that ball up and hurls it to the left side.
Smart play there by Duvey. Opens up that throw by waiting to pick up the ball until she is pressured. Opens up a little more room for the defensive line to move the ball up the field. And Central Michigan's going to have another substitute come in at the next dead ball.
And the defense of the Falcons has to be the biggest story so far, is they're just not allowing much to get to Kathleen Duvey in the goal, keeping her actively involved in the game after she's not taking many shots. And there was a little bit of a collision there, as a Chippewa is a little slow to get up. That's number 16, Maria Kaschak, who collided with Sophia Barnes, as Sophia Barnes goes up the side. Barnes and Kaschak getting a little physical on the left side.
As the referee will play advantage.
The Falcons, great speed over there on the right side by the Falcons.
And a goal kick is called. From my vantage point, it looked like that went off the Chippewa first. But it will be a goal kick. So we have, I believe it's Pettinger coming out for Lauren DeBlue.
And another substitution. The Falcons are going to go ahead and make a move.
DeBuh, pardon me, as now we have another free kick. This one going to the Chippewas as the ball was kicked away there. And coming all the way up to the other side of the field is the goalkeeper, Reed. And this can be dangerous, having a goalkeeper come all the way up.
I'm surprised the Falcons aren't playing a little more aggressive on Zoe Reed, because all it takes is one little deflection, and it's in the net as Zoe Reed kicks that and just gets back to the goal. And the Falcon defense stands firm yet again, just got to send it to midfield. And now it's a foot race. Zoe Reed's all the way out of the goal box to make that play. Zoe Reed's playing a little too aggressive for a goalkeeper.
You say that, but at that point, that's kind of a smart move. It's about 25 yards up the field, and your defender is not going to stop. I believe that was Allen making that run. You have to go out there and just make sure this doesn't turn into something too dangerous.
Falcons defense stands firm yet again. That was number 7 for the Chippewas, Alina Miyakova, taking a shot on goal, but great deflection there by Nikita Jacob not to allow it. That kick tipped. And
as we have time here, it looks like a card is going to be shown. The referee played advantage, and it will be a card. I believe that one's going against number 9 of the Chippewas, and that would be
Sheila
Mangan. She did knock down Jacobs. Basically, Jacobs went over top of her after that play. Advantage was played by the referee instead of stopping for the free kick. But that's always a good move when you're a referee to get control of the game. Good job by Kevin Fiker to come back and give it.
And corner kick by the Chippewas is almost won by the Chippewas. Got to that back door, as so to speak, and didn't go in. And then the header also didn't go in by the Chippewas. So Falcon ball, and great job by the defense. The other thing to mention out of that yellow card, as soccer rules go, 2 yellow cards is a disqualification from the game. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how Sheila Magnan does.
Barnes comes out for the Falcons, making way for Yasmin Dieselhoff to come in on the left side of that defensive line.
Kathleen Duvey just moving the ball around a little bit as the referees say, let's get this game going. And Duvey will send it to about midfield. And it is a 4-on-3 down there on that side, and the Chippewas will just take the throw in and kick it out of bounds, allowing more defense and midfield to get back.
Good job by Cox there. She tried to send that ball to herself.
as a shot goes just wide to the left, just out of the reach of the Falcon player down there. So it's going to go out of bounds. Goal kick for Zoe Reed.
Well, again, going back to that last play, that was the right idea from Cox there, trying to send that ball to herself, gambling on her speed to be able to get it, and she forced the defender just to kick it out rather than allow her to carry down to the zone and try to get across into the box.
And that goal kick was won by the Falcons, or the header, excuse me, was won by the Falcons in Chelsea, Washington. And with the referee right there, the ball's going to get called out of bounds for a throw-in Chippewa ball. Taking the throw in is Maria Kaschak. And the header by Nikita Jacob just sends it back to the Falcons, sent up the line in front of the press box. Falcons playing fantastic defense. That's got to be what's going on, and the story of the game, as another whistle's blown, and it's going to be Falcon ball.
As Belzito there just got a bit too aggressive on that 50-50 ball, knocked the Falcon player down.
And that aggressiveness is shown yet again as Chelsea Washington just sends it up to one of the three Falcons in the area that was just sent back. And now the Chippewas get an opportunity with some aggression.
And good clearance there by the Falcon line.
That looked to be number 21, Audrey Shea, back there, just stopping that. And another save there by Kathleen Duvey. Not many times I've said save by Kathleen Duvey, as she really hasn't seen a lot of pressure down on her side of the field. But when she's been needed, she's gotten it done. That throw from Duvey is going to get sent out of bounds. Misses the head of Riley Mann of the Chippewas. And that's what the Falcons were assuming was going to happen, just go off of Riley Mann. So now throw in BG. And the kick from Chelsea Washington is sent back to Duvey. And Duvey will try to reset back to the left side of the field, but that ball's going to go out of bounds.
And Falcons ball once again.
With a referee right down there, it's going to be really difficult for either team to, allow the ball to get back in bounds, even if it goes off the line a little bit. As in soccer, you play until that whistle is called, or blown, excuse me. So, another thing to mention. Falcon ball. As the Falcons hold a lead here. But the whistle's going to get blown. As I mentioned, the Falcons could not keep it in, so Chippewa ball.
It looks like Kennedy White will come in at the next whistle for the Falcons, as well as Christian Tavit.
Kaschak's throw in, but the aggressiveness by the Falcons gets them the throw in. And now the substitutions.
For the Falcons, number 4, Kennedy White. In the game for number 12, Sarah Allen. Also number 11, Kristen Tavite. In the game for number 20, Mackenzie Rue.
So White and Tavit come in. Yet maybe try to give a little extra burst of speed up front, as we are under 20 minutes remaining in this first half. Jacob Seidel, Zach Smith with you for just tuning in here on YouTube Live, presented by WBGU-TV.
Falcons are up 1-0, so it's a great sign for Falcons fans, but it's been a close game throughout. Whistle's going to get blown, though.
As
a lot of contact.
The offsides flag is up, and the flag was up before any foul was called, as one of the Falcons just went on the other side. So I believe a Falcon just snuck on the other side of that defensive line before the pass was made. So the VAR official had his flag up the entire time before any contact was made. So that's what I believe that's what was called there.
And offsides is such a difficult call to make because it could literally be right at the end. But the Falcons will reset. They hold a 1-0 lead, which is big considering where they are in rankings. And the header trying to keep it in is unsuccessful, so it's going to be Falcon ball.
Chippewa's really starting to pressure up on these throw-ins deep in Bowling Green's zone.
There are a lot of implications from this game, so that could show some of that aggressiveness as maybe a little bit of frustration just kicking that ball out to the fence. So throw in BG.
Somehow that ball stays in there.
It's surprising. The referee was standing right there and no whistle was blown. But play on. Header just glazes off the head. Or grazes off the head, not glazes. And now the whistle's going to get blown, so Chippewa ball. But overall from both teams, you got to like what you see defensively. As defense wins championships.
Yeah, well, Falcons' defense has looked good. They've only allowed one shot on goal so far tonight, one corner kick. Falcons, 1 goal on 2 shots on goal and a corner kick. And another free kick to the Chippewas.
We've seen a lot of those so far tonight. Zoe Reed playing outside of the goal box. She is not coming up to make this kick. She did earlier, which is why I mentioned that, but she's very much so out of the goal, trying to make up for the goal that she let in. And the Chippewa kick. Header is won by BG. So, as words go, it's an unsuccessful free kick. That ball being in the box is just kicked up and out.
A lot of contact there
Between Chelsea Washington and the Chippewa offensive player. And that looked like just a shove by Katie Coleman of the Chippewas, just leveling Nikki Cox. Surprised that one didn't get called.
From my point of view, that looked like a clean hit. Yeah, she stood up Cox, but she also made sure to play the ball.
That's probably the biggest thing about that, because it looked like she got a lot of shoulder into that ball, but again, no whistle. That ball's going to be sent up and over. The Falcons have had speed on that right side all night long so far, as Kennedy White was over there to make the play. And another little shove, but that was clean. So a little bit of aggressiveness defensively by the Chippewas, as it's starting to get a little chippy.
No pun intended there?
No pun intended. I looked over at you after I said that, and I'm like, he's going to make that joke.
Zach, of course, you know I'm going to make that joke every time. It is starting to get a bit, I can't think of another word to say other than chippy, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's starting, the physical's about to get, or the game's getting more physical as another substitute in for the Chippewas. It looks like it's going to be I believe
Riley Mann's going to check out.
Coming in. As Mann checking out. Mann has been all over that front line for the Chips so far. And there's a goal kick there.
So it's going to get more aggressive down the stretch, especially as we hit about 14 minutes left in this first half. The Falcons, with that 1-0 lead, aren't under as much duress as the Chippewas, but with the Falcons being in first place and the Chippewas chasing them, it's huge for them to try to get this game. That ball just went wrong off Nikita Jacob. And a whistle.
And another foul, this one going against the Falcons. And
Chelsea Washington.
Looks like we're going to, we'll see, but Doovie will probably get a wall set. It looks like we're going to have a wall of 4 in front of the ball as Fiker, the official, marks off 10 yards. Looks like they just want the 3-player wall there in front of the goal.
This is the biggest play of the game so far for the Chippewas. Kathleen Doovie is standing in the middle with 3 Falcon defenders in front of her and the rest over in a clump to the right of the goal from our vantage point. Just not to allow any Chippewa near that ball. Two
So-
players are over there, though.
It's Kaschuk and Coleman getting ready. Coleman looks like she's going to be the one to take it.
And it's a fake, and it's good. It's a field goal, but it's not a goal. So it is going to be unsuccessful as yet another free kick goes awry for the Chippewas.
Lena Kovar comes in.
Substitution into the game for the Falcons, number 24, Lena Kovar.
Didn't see who she's coming up for. As Alexis Miller will actually head off. So Kovar comes in to give that defense a little extra boost. Duvey will lay into that one.
And with that free kick, 5 total shots, or not 5 total shots, 5 shots for each team, as that's going to get evened up. So 10 total shots on goal in this first half so far. Falcons looking to push the pace, or 3 shots on goal, but 5 shots in total. And this Falcon defense has looked fantastic this entire game so far. I mean, it's still relatively early, but that's got to be something that Matt Fannin has to be happy about. Going to get sent up to Chelsea Washington, and Chelsea Washington with that speed is going to just keep pushing forward. It's a one-on-one matchup, and a little bit of a shove. Falcons, number 4, that's Kennedy White, had an opportunity, just went to the side of the goal, and corner kick Falcons.
A good crossing pass there from Washington to get that in, and an even better kind of juke, you could call that, from White to attempt to get that shot. Just goes,
Off the
gets
shin guard.
deflected, so
Maureen Kennedy is going to be back there yet again to take the kick. The last one went a little bit too far, just did not get where it needed to go. But this one is going to get sent on the ground to Cox, who scored the goal earlier. It's going to get deflected, and Maureen Kennedy just tries to send it back to the other Bowling Green Falcons there, but it's unsuccessful. That Falcon defense, even one-on-one, is looking fantastic, as Kathleen Duvey is going to get the ball yet again to reset that Falcon offense. Another juke there. A lot of fancy moves we're seeing from both teams so far tonight. Great footwork.
just a bad, looked like an errant pass there off Chelsea Washington. Didn't know. I think that ball was supposed to go down lower and just didn't go far enough. So we'll have another goal kick now for Duvey.
The one thing I will say, if the Chippewas were field goal kickers, they would have a great night. As that one also goes up over the crossbar and behind the goal. So Duvey's going to get another opportunity to kick the ball for a goal kick as we wind under 10 minutes. And Duvey will get the ball to midfield. And Cox there on the pressure, so Amanda Britton just sends it out of bounds. And the Falcons will get into a position for a throw-in.
Under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Falcons lead at 1-0. Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith with you here on YouTube Live, presented by WBGU-TV for coverage of BGSU women's soccer.
As they take on the Central Michigan Chippewas in a battle for the MAC. The Falcons are in first coming into this game with 12 points, and the Chippewas with 9. And Falcons are in control here, up 1-0. And that ball just deflected, so great job by the Chippewa defensives. They have seemed to hit a little bit of a reset button after allowing that early goal. And the Falcons send it on up just behind Cox. And the Falcons and Chelsea Washington look to push the pace a little bit. And it will be Chippewa ball.
And on the next BG throw-in, it's going to be Ruby Linton coming in for Nikita Jacob.
The throw-in is just going to be headed out of bounds by the Falcons, number 24. That's Lena Kovar. As another header, but this time in play. As the Falcons will look to just keep the ball away from the Chippewas. little bit of a miscommunication there, but saved by the Falcons, and with a push, a free ball for the Falcons.
And that's Mangan, Sheila Mangan, who has the yellow, so she's playing a little bit on the dangerous side here. Just got a bit too much into Falcons there, and Falcons might have actually caught a lucky break there, now able to clear this ball out of the defensive third.
Duvey to take the kick, but with Magnan, as you mentioned, she already has a yellow, so one more yellow, and she's not going to see any more green for the rest of the night. And saved there by Zoe Reed, who is wearing neon green. Zoe Reed has made some great stops tonight, but the one that she couldn't make was a goal. So we'll have to watch how this goes. Cox on the left side just sends it forward, giving her player a chance down there to have an opportunity. Was Kennedy White. It's going to be ruled a goal kick. Looked to me that it was hit off the Chippewa defender, but the ref had a better view being on the field than I did up here in the press box.
Yeah, and that call was made by the assistant on the far side there, who would have had the perfect angle looking straight down the end line.
And Nikita Jacob is going to go ahead and check out, and she has been just everywhere on the defensive side of the ball, so giving her a little bit of a break should prove to be a good thing, but we'll see how the Falcons respond. The other thing to mention, as the aggressiveness seems to really be getting there by the Chippewas, starting off this game, the Falcons had all day back there near the goal box to just send the ball forward, but now the Chippewas are being a little more aggressive, not giving them so much time. And going to be another Falcon throw-in.
And we're actually going to see, I believe it's Lindsay Spots coming in for Nikki Cox.
Nikki Cox is going to check out.
And Cox taking her time, heading that way, meeting up with her teammate.
Maybe just
5.5 left here in the first half, 1-0. The Falcons lead at Cochran Stadium.
The Falcons are undefeated here at Cochran Stadium, so they're looking to keep that alive as well as being undefeated in the MAC. As another ball is sent back to Duvey. Duvey has been very active as a part of the offense, and not really as much as the defense, as the defense has really bailed her out. Ball sent forward to the midfield stripe, and Chippewa ball. 5 minutes remaining. Waiting for the Chippewa throw-in. A little bit of communication on the sideline. And it's just going to be sent forward. And the Falcons will just send it up the midfield. Not in too much of a rush, though, for the Falcons, as they're also just trying to eat some clock. And another ball sent out of bounds by the Chippewas and an opportunity to reset.
It looks like Bringer just tried to clear that ball down the pitch, and a really good idea there, just get in front of it by Kovar. Keep the Chippewas from getting too much momentum here late in the half. This is always a dangerous time, as there's a foul. That's going to be called against Dieselhoff. Might have been lucky she didn't get carded there, as she had Torrell basically had her arms around her neck, had her in kind of a hug.
It's going to be a free kick, and only one BG defender is in front of number 16, Maria Kastchuk, and that's Lindsay Spots in front of her. That's just going to get sent into the clump, and yet another whistle. So the officials are active tonight.
And that is going to be foul number 12 on the night combined for both teams.
Cleaning up those fouls has to be a big key for both head coaches as we get closer and closer to the half.
Especially, you don't want to see a penalty get called in the box because one penalty kick can change a complexion as a match, as we know. It happens all the time. Both these goaltenders good with penalties, but you'd rather not test your luck.
Exactly. You don't want to take an opportunity to hurt yourself when you can just keep playing a good, clean game. And the Falcons are in no need to cause penalties as they're up in this game. That ball's just going to look to get sent back to midfield, but the Chippewas are just playing really aggressive as we near the end of this first half. Ball sent to the far side to a Chippewa, number 3. But you hear the communication out there by the Falcons, or at least we hear it, and they're just being very, very active on the defensive side of the ball, and it's got to come from that communication. Falcons just looking to send this game into the half as we hit the 2-minute mark. That ball hasn't gone out of bounds yet. A lot of pushing and shoving. That whistle is blown.
As now we're going to have a stoppage of play. And I think this is just going to be a warning. I don't see a card coming out. Didn't see who the foul was on. Looks like Audrey Shea, I believe. But no card.
Just a verbal warning. There's a lot of pushing and shoving over there on that sideline.
Okay, he was just reaching for the spray foam to make that line there as
Free
the
ball.
time was stopped.
So free kick for the Chippewas. This is their second in this area. And again, the BG defense steps up and just sends that ball back to midfield. And another. And there's a save by Duvey. That's her second save tonight, I believe. Kathleen Duvey, the saves she has made have been important, and that's one that she definitely needed to make.
Yeah, and just perfect positioning. She saw where that ball was going from the get-go.
Duvey just sending it back to midfield as we are about to hit the 1 minute remaining in this half. The Falcons just looking to send it to the half in an effort to give all the players, including Duvey, a little bit of a break, a little bit of a shove, and a little bit of a warning.
And another free kick will be called. We're under a minute, and this is going to Central.
50 seconds left in the game, so Central should hurry up.
As that one's going to go against Christian Tveit.
The Falcons have 3 in front of the kicker. And Duvey.
And a penalty. A penalty has been called with 25 seconds left. I didn't see what the call is, and are they calling it a hand or?
Duvey made a fantastic stop, but a whistle came almost immediately. The Falcons are obviously not happy about it. Better be careful not to get carded.
I think the Falcons want Kevin Fiker to consult his assistant referee. That won't be the case, and now we'll see how Duvey does against the penalty kick. And let's see here who will take that kick. It looks like that is, I believe, number 7. That's Alina Miakova.
There's the kick, and into the net. Duvey could not get there. A little deception move to the left, and Duvey's going to kick the ball in frustration. It's all tied up off of a very controversial call in the penalty box with 25 seconds left in the game.
And that is her third goal on the season, first penalty kick goal on the season. So with under a minute, 25 seconds left to be precise, a penalty kick goal ties it up. And, Zach, we were talking about that just a minute ago, how that could change the complexion of the match.
It could change everything, especially with it being about 10 seconds here, and the Chippewas and Falcons both content just to allow this game to wind out. Whistle, though.
And time has been stopped as we have another foul on Bowling Green, as going down to the ground was Bingard. And it looks like there's a card coming out this time, and a yellow card will be shown to, I believe that
Maureen
was
Kennedy, number 26 of the Falcons.
Kennedy once again. So 4 seconds left, a free kick. Everyone but Reed is up for this. 2 Falcons in front, and now Fikert went a step behind the Bowling Green wall, and now only one will stand in front.
4 seconds left. 2.
And a foul was called.
Waved off the goal. It
No,
was
pardon
a
me.
goal.
The clock was out before the ball was in the net, I believe, there. So
Doobie
the first
saved.
half ends at 1 all. 3 shots for the Chippewas with 1 corner kick, 1 goal, 1 shot, 1 goal on 2 shots, and 2 corner kicks for the Falcons.
Doovie got really helped out there by the clock, so that stopped the second goal from going on within the last 30 seconds. So overall, the Falcons played a great first half on defense, and in that last 30 seconds off of a very controversial call to allow a point to get in off of a free kick, but the clock ended up helping out as Kathleen Doovie did not get charged a second goal after that ball went in off of a header.
And welcome back here to Cochran Stadium. Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith bringing you all the coverage tonight. It's a 1-1 match after one half of play. Bowling Green's goal came at the 15:45 mark. It's Nikki Cox from Chelsea, Washington, and Mackenzie Ruber. While a penalty kick goal on a controversial call with 25 seconds left in the half tied it up for Central Michigan. That one came off the foot of Ulina Miakova. And Zach, what have you seen from this team so far, and what do they have to improve here in the second half to come out with the victory?
Well, the big thing that I really saw through that first half was all defense. The Bowling Green defense through the first part of that first half played really, really well, as they didn't allow Kathleen Duvey to really need to make a lot of saves and a lot of those clean, crisp blocks that she needed to take. And for the most part, it was keeping the ball on the Chippewas side of the field for Zoe Reed to be forced into a little bit of a pickle. But throughout the game of that first half, the Chippewas were really able to put more pressure on Kathleen Duvey. So I think the big emphasis for the Falcons and head coach Matt Fannin is to get that defensive substitutions going and keep those midfielders playing not just good offense but better defense.
Duvey faced 7 shots, 3 of which were on goal, allowed 1 goal on 2 saves. As I said, that goal came off the penalty kick. And the Chips' Zoe Reed faced 2 shots, made 1 save. Falcons had 2 corner kicks, while so far the Chippewas have had 1. Falcons will be moving left to right in this half. Falcons in their white, goalkeeper in gray, and the Chips in their maroon and gold jerseys, and their goalkeeper in green.
And the other really quick thing to note, with about 4 seconds left in that first half, the Chippewas almost had another goal that went right off the hands of Kathleen Duvey, but the whistle was blown, so the ball was dead. So it could be a 2-1 game, but the clock on the Falcons' side.
As it looks like Cox will be passing this one back, and she does to Washington, who moves it out to the far side, and we're underway in half number 2. Falcons back line has it now. Jacobs will kick it right back to the back line. That one gets just past Maureen Kennedy and all the way back to Duvey. 50-50 ball as it now goes back to that left side. Here's a pass up front. Cox has the speed, can't get past the back line, and finally looks like Balisto will just have to kick that one out for a throw-in for the Falcons.
And that's the other big difference that we really saw between the Chippewas and the Falcons in that first half. As opposed to the Falcons playing just good defense and just trying to win the ball, the Chippewas have just been kicking it out of bounds. So that might be another thing to watch as we get into the stretch.
Chips able to clear it out to neutral ground, now moving into the offensive third. As moving it up there, that's Lauren DeBlue. And now Jacob able to kick it out and right back into the Chippewas. Falcon defense playing along the 18 as this one's going to roll, and it looks like it will finally cross the line for a goal kick for Duvey.
With the sun set here, it's about 66 degrees, so we wonder if that cold is Bowling Green and that infamous wind is having an effect on the ball and on the players.
Duvey looks down the field. Now takes a few steps, gives this one the boot. Low driving kick. And after a head will get up top, and Katie Cox got knocked down there as this ball's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be a BG throw-in. Quick start here as Cox has it, now passes back to Ruber all the way back to the line where they'll take it round the horn. Up the middle now, Jacob has it, goes off her foot as now, I believe that's Nikki Cox. Pardon me, no, that's Chelsea Washington. Now Nikki Cox on the left wing. Cox carries in. Here's a shot and a save made by Reed right on her crease, and a good save there by Reed, able to keep her eyes on it the entire time.
We've seen a couple of those really good saves by Zoe Reed where the Falcons have been putting the ball exactly where it needs to go, but Reed just somehow appears and has great hands like some of the better wide receivers in the NFL.
Somehow that kick gets all the way through. Here come the Chippewas, but the offsides flag is up right at the edge of the offensive and neutral thirds. So the Falcons catch a lucky break there, as it appears that the blue was just a bit offsides.
And that's another big story. There's been a lot of offsides called in this game. Offsides being the controversial call that it already is. Just it's been ridiculous to an extent. 4 offsides calls.
As the free kick sails down towards the 18, Chippewas control. As Falcons trying to get around, as now Allen working against the defender, moves to her left, now will pass back.
There's a little bit of hand and pushing and pulling on that. A little surprised the physicality wasn't really called.
That one's won by the Chippewas. They'll throw in. Now Falcons try to move in, and there's a good pass. There's Cox. Shot goes off the Chippewa defender and is cleared.
That was a nifty in-between-the-legs move there by the Falcons.
Sky Toro has it. She gets a foot on it just in front of the Falcons. And now Allen will pick up a pass, and it goes just past her, and it'll go out of bounds on the near sideline down to our right. Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith with you if you're just joining us. 1-1 here from Cochran Soccer Stadium between the Falcons and the Chips. Cox has it. Now Washington will try to get a pass cross. Jacob has it in the middle, now out to the corner. Can't see the number there, but here's a cross into the box, and it'll just be caught right at the 8.
Zoe Reed yet
Pardon me,
again.
the 6-yard box as Reed has it.
Another great stop.
High punt there as Jacob backs up to try to get a head on it. She does, and it'll stay in just in front of the Chippewas bench as the Falcons have now control. Washington has it in the middle, tries to get it out. Bit of a weird pass there as Ruber has it and will pass back. Falcons look to go around the horn and change fields, and now they just go straight up the middle as Washington, a little nifty turn pass there. Jacob has it, moves up as he'll try to go to Nikki Cox outside on the left wing. Cox turns on the ball towards the flag, will try to move in. And Cox, I think, tried to draw a foul there. Either way, Chippewas have it. Jacob now on the far sideline. Here's a big booming kick into the box. Headed away again by the Chippewas, whose defense looks a lot stronger than it was to begin this game, Zach.
Oh, absolutely. The Chippewas, the defense was really, really stressed out during that first half. And then suddenly they went on that little bit of a defensive stretch, and now their defense still looks good even after the half.
As Kaya Toro looked like she tried to reach up and hit that ball as it was cleared out by Duvey. Now Reed has it inside her 18-yard box and will boot this one up. Another high punt. Jacob puts a head on it. And a triangle, Chippewas will send it right back. And a little bit of a bad pass. Falcons not able to get a good break on it, but that ball's going to go out right at midfield for a Falcon throw-in.
Quick thing to note with Zoe Reed's kicks, they're not the line drives that Kathleen Duvey has. They're more high punts, more so than the line drive.
Deiselhoff took that throw-in. Chippewas end up with the ball. Now Falcons have it in midfield. Cox has it. And now weak pass there, and good move by the Falcon defender. Now 2 jukes, and finally gets past it. Well, they're going to call her for a foul. As I believe that was Kennedy put her ball into that, or put her foot into the ball, and just knocked down the midfielder for the Chippewas. So, again, we see Reed venturing pretty far from her crease.
And I don't know if I necessarily agree with the call, but the ref has made a few controversial calls, but overall this has been a very well-officiated game.
Chippewas back it out. as Dieselhoff will defend. Here's a shot and a goal. Chippewas will take the 2-1 lead. Didn't see who that one went off.
It looked like there was a little bit of a ricochet off of that. Hits directly in the middle of the goal box, and just in a position where Kathleen Duvey can do nothing with it, just into the bottom left corner of the net.
I think that one came off the foot of Samantha Kaya Torrell. So now 2-1 in favor of the Central Michigan Chippewas, who are trying to gain, or they're trying to tie, I should say, Falcons for first place. They are 3 points behind the Falcons. And it is Kay Toyle, as here's a long send into the box that'll be corralled by Reed.
Big implications going into this game, the Falcons being 4-0 in the MAC. The Chippewas are just about 3 points behind them, as you mentioned, in MAC standings. So this is a huge game, especially momentum-wise for both teams.
That send was corralled by the Falcons, but Miller slipped trying to get her head on it. Has absolutely looked like Dieselhoff just got rocked there, but she got her foot on it, got it out of bounds. So a throw in down inside 18 yards for the Chips, as they will look to throw it in. And they get it in. There's Toyle again down by the flag, tries to get it in. Jacob corrals right outside the box and is able to kick it out of bounds up high. So another throw in for the Chips. 36 remaining here in the second half. As Chips throw it in, Toyle will kick in, and that'll go out of bounds for a goal kick for Duvey.
Great job there by the Falcons defense, really needing a stop and a little bit of momentum to go their way. Just puts up a 0 on that little bit of a possession.
Here's a pass to Cox. It goes off her head and keeps rolling, and the Chippewas will control. Pass back to Reed. Here's a booming kick up towards midfield. As now Washington passes to Jacob on the circle. Jacob looks to get it back to Kennedy. Kennedy's going to look to get outside to Ruber. Ruber, here's a send to Allen, and it's just going to roll a bit too far. Maybe Allen has a chance and goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick, and can't believe I am stunned by that.
Not only should I think there have been a whistle there, a little bit of an aggressive move by Natalie Belcito of the Chippewas, but that definitely looked like it went out of bounds off of a Chippewa. The officiating has been a little questionable today.
Whistles have been blown many times today, lots of fouls. A very aggressive game as the offsides flag is up. And the Falcons catch another lucky break there.
And Kathleen Duvey ran out of the goal box just to go and pressure that, and that was a little bit of a risky move, especially seeing that if that offsides isn't even called, Central Michigan's got a clear line to the net.
DeBlue again able to get that one, or called for that one, as Kennedy will take the kick from the offsides. Tries to get it inside a little bit, goes outside, and now guess who's back up top? Kai Torrell. Working in midfield, now passes back. Here's a little bit of a send into the box. Falcons defensive line able to move up on it. Kennedy now has to turn around on a ball. She'll just turn and boot. And able to keep it in are the Falcons right on the far sideline. That send just goes a little bit too far. And now back the other way.
Duvey
penalty sends in, and Duvey has to kick it out. So the Falcons' defense on their heels right now.
The Falcons just overall look kind of tired to me. They came out, they played really aggressive early on, and since that early 1-point lead, they've given up 2 unanswered, and the defense just looks really tired.
As Cox looking for a chance, and now this ball's going to be kicked out of bounds and actually saved on the near sideline there by Miagova. Pardon me. Falcons looking to keep possession.
Nifty
Jacob
juke.
now has it on this far or near sideline. Pardon me. There's a send for Katie Cox. Goes too far as Belisto will kick out of bounds. Falcon throw in as up comes Ruber to take the throw. It's a throw down on the end line, and there's a heel pass nutmeg inside. Here's a shot. It's just sails wide to the right.
Looking back at that play, it was shot right up the line, right in front of the goalkeeper, Zoe Reed, and it deflected off of the back of a Chippewa's leg and just sailed back to another BG player. And I've seen a lot of shots tonight just sail wide, and another one just does not go the right way for the Falcons.
Reed will put her foot into this one. Another high kick. Washington gets a foot on it. It'll go sail right out.
Chelsea Washington has been all over the place for the Falcons tonight, not just on offense but also on defense, really making her mark and especially assisting on the one goal the Falcons have on this board.
We'll see if the Falcons decide to go to the bench soon, as that one's taken away from Jacob, who ends up on the ground. DeBlue has it up front, and now the offsides flag up once again, and once again, Kai Torrell just passed the line before the pass, as now that ball is going to go right out of bounds. So another throw-in for the Chips, and we will have a substitution come in at the next Bowling Green throw-in or goal kick, as Cox tried to get it up to Katie Cox. And now a little blooper going in, and Duvey will have to go back, and she will pick up and now throw to the far side, and keeping it just in bounds are the Falcons. These Falcons will try to move up. They do cross midfield. Cox now to Washington. Pardon me, that's actually Miller. Miller will try to go outside, as that one will just roll a bit too far for Ruber.
We mentioned in the first half how when the Falcons were up 1-0, how there seemed to be a little bit of chippiness going on between both teams. And now watching right now as the Falcons are down, I see a lot more.
Ruber has it.
On
Washington tries to move in, and it gets blocked. Ruber keeps it in as she blocks a pass of her own, and now a send corralled by the Falcons defense. And now coming up with it, there's the blue. She's got one Falcon to beat. She's going to try to dribble into the box. And a slide tackle, and she made contact with the ball, so no penalty call. And the Chippewa faithful that made the drive down here are just in front of us. Not happy with that call. Falcons will end up with a free kick.
Chippewas wanted a penalty there on the slide tackle, but all ball is what the officials saw. It's what we saw up here in the booth. So, again, the Falcons get lucked out of a play.
Duvey still setting the ball. She'll go short to her left. Looks like Cox has it now in the center. She'll pass back to the line.
Falcons just need a spark of some sort, as all the passes just seem to be going awry right now.
There's another send, as Audrey Shea will pass back to Duvey. Duvey's just going to kick it out. And actually, right there to save it for just a second was Ruber, but it goes out of bounds, so a Chippewa throw.
Just underneath 29 minutes here, so time is not on the Falcons' side. But they can make plays in a hurry, so that is at least a good sign for the Falcons.
This one's down in the corner, and it's going to be a Chippewa throw right at the corner. So we'll see if they move anyone up here, try to get numbers on the deep throw right in front of the flag as Chippewas get it in. Here's a kick into the box and a foul going against the blue, and the official warning, giving her a little bit of a verbal warning. 2 cards have been issued in this match. 1 to each side as the Falcons restart. Jacob has it. And gets it taken right away from her. Now back round to Shea, who has it in the middle. Shea tries to get a pass up to Cox. Nikki Cox loses the ball and now having to come in and try to make a play over there. I believe that was Dieselhoff, and now booming kick. Far left side into Nikki Cox. Cox looks up. Katie Cox looking that way and now the other way for the Chips. Here's a send to the left side. Right there's Ruber and kicks it the other way. Falcons trying to make something happen on offense, and the Chips are having none of it, really holding that line at the top of the circle.
Falcons just looking to reset as the ball's going to travel around the horn. Just try to reset.
Ruber tries to get it out to Katie Cox, who has the ball kicked away from behind her, and it'll roll out for a Falcon throw.
And the one player who's
and finally some substitutes that have been waiting for about 10 minutes will come in. Kovar comes in for Miller. And Kennedy White will come in for Katie Cox. So some fresh legs in there for the Falcons. We'll see if that will help some as Nikki Cox gets the throw in, and then it'll go out of bounds, and it's going to be a stoppage. Central kicked the ball away from the where the Falcons would throw it in. So our referee, Kevin Fiker, blew his whistle. Nikki Cox has it. Jacob will try to get it up to Allen just a bit too far, as now another little pooch will try to get in. Falcons headed away. In the center, Jacob gives way. Chippewas now carrying in as that one's going to go out. They're trying to get it to Kay Toyle. Now Jacob has it. A little bit of a heel pass back. Falcons will attempt to clear, and this one won't get very far. Chippewas control once again. Here's into the box. Good defensive play to cut in front. Here's a shot just outside to the right of the goal. So the score remains 2-1. We've got 25 minutes left here in regulation.
And the one player that's really been shut down so far is Nikki Cox for the Falcons, who has their lone goal. She's really been shut down through the midfield line, and this team really does flow through her. So great job by the Chippewas, but a spark's got to come from somebody else on this Falcons team.
We're going to see Chesney Wargo step in, as there was some elbow was thrown there, but no call, as Chips will have the throw. Good job there by Ruber to get ahead on it. And now here's a clear to the center of the field. Coming up to attempt to make the play is White. Chippewas will now send into the box. There's a header out. And here's a shot. Arches over near to the student section. And again, a goal kick for Duvey.
On a quick side note, the Falcon volleyball team is in Oxford, where they're taking on the Miami Redhawks. They are down 2-1, but rallying in the third set. It is 19-13 BG as they try to get on the board.
Riley Mann also comes in on the right side for the Chippewas. As back again to the defensive line is now Duvey has it. She's almost gave up the ball as she was double teamed in the box. Falcons trying to move it up. Allen has it, goes in between two defenders, and now has to move backwards and try to regroup as the fan back to the defense. Now over to the far side. Kennedy has it, now moves up to the left. And again, Chippewas trying to make a run. Over to the right side for Duvey. Up top, Allen will get it past. Now White back to Allen. Allen's going to carry on the right side. Allen in the 18 on the right side. Here she comes, puts a pass in, and the ball's knocked out. Falcons maintain possession. Will try to move it right back in as Ruber will end up getting it in. The ball got knocked away there from Allen in the box, and Reed will pick it up as we have an injured Chippewa.
Looks to be a cramp. Just based on the way that she just seems to be getting stretched out there, it looks to just be a cramp. So good to see that she is not seriously hurt.
Time had stopped and Blair is up. So now the ball will start on a kick from Reed. She'll take a few steps, puts her boot into this one. And Ruber will end up with it on the right side for the Falcons. Moving forward, she has Allen on the right side and ends up getting it taken away by the Chippewas as Riley Mann will move down. And they wanted to be out of bounds. The assistant official said it isn't. This ball now skids right down the sideline. Falcons have to keep it out of their box. Here comes a shot and blocked. And that's going to go out of the side for a throw. And it actually
looks to be a
looks like it's going to be a corner kick as it finally went out.
And substitutions are going to be made for Central Michigan. Number 11, Cassidy Pettinger is going to come in. And for the Falcons, Mackenzie Ruber is going to go ahead and check out. I did not hear
Tveit, I believe.
For who? I believe you are right. For Kristen Tveit, number 11.
So Tveit comes in, and we're going to have a goal kick.
And another substitution.
Now it looks like we're going to have
Sophia Barnes is going to go ahead and check in for Dieselhoff, excuse me.
So here's the kick, and Falcons trying to control. Washington had it for a moment, now goes back up to the left side, and Falcons moving on the outside. Can't see the number, a bit far out. So Sen goes out right in front of the Chips bench, so they'll have another throw in for Central. Just over 20 minutes left to play. If you're just joining us, Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith here with coverage of Bowling Green women's soccer against the Central Michigan Chippewas here on WBGU-TV's YouTube live stream. It's Falcons trying to keep that one in, and Kennedy, I believe, just kind of tries to pooch it over. That one will go out once again right around midfield for another Chippewa throw. Nikki Cox thought that was going to be a Falcons ball, as here's the throw. Long throw as now Washington comes up for it. And a little whiff there from the Chippewa defense. Wallace defending as the Chippewas move into the offensive third. That one will go down towards the near sideline. So the ball's in. Falcons look to clear. They do clear as try to get it to Allen. Now back in once again, as this ball is going to be stopped by Duvey. She lost a handle on it and making a run at it. Looked like Wargo. As Falcons try to keep it in.
They do.
Devitt now moves over to Jacobs, who wanted to go to Cox, but Cox lost her footing. Chippewas go once again. DeVete will boot this one out for another throw for the Chippewas.
And a lot like the first half, from the vantage point of us here in the booth, the ball has really stayed on the left side of the field for both halves. The first time benefiting the Falcons and now benefiting the Chippewas.
So ball's crossed into the box. Falcons will look to clear, but right to Central Michigan as that one went off the knee.
Not a lot of aggressiveness by the Falcons.
Falcons have it on the left side, trying to move up. Cox in the midfield. Turns and wants to carry. Passes it now to Washington. Washington, here's a send. Right up the middle, back to Cox. Now here's another send. But right to a waiting Reed, who has been stellar in goal tonight for the Chips.
And we mentioned coming into this game the stellar gameplay of both Zoe Reed and Kathleen Duvey, as both of these goalies are among the best in the MAC.
As Sheila Magnan will check in at the next dead ball. As here's another send. Chippewa is able to defend. Cox trying to get that ball. Tries a slide there. End up going out of bounds off the foot of Miyakova. And speaking of Miyakova, she puts that one right to her own defender off the throw. Jacob working against her. And now on the far side, coming back towards the middle. There's Wargo.
Just gonna
it's going to be
kick
a
it out of
Bowling
bounds.
Green throw.
Thought her fellow Chippewa was going to be there along the sideline, but just kicks it out of bounds. A little bit of miscommunication. The first real mistake the Chippewas have made in this half.
Falcons look to move it up. They can't get it far as Central Michigan again takes control off the head of a Falcon. And back over to Christian Tavit, who carries up right side over midfield. Now moves to the left, takes some contact. Now gets it out to the left. I think that's Washington. Washington looks in. Now moves out. Washington out to Allen on the right side. Allen carries in. Looks like she's going to try to get across, and she does, and it ends up just going out of bounds for a goal kick as she ended up on the ground, and she is still on the ground in a little bit of pain.
She had a Chippewa right on top of her and just was looking for a whistle of some sort as she tried to get the ball right up the side, and she is just really slow to get up.
So 3 substitutes coming in as Allen's going to try to walk this one off. So the clock has stopped. We have 16:50 left. 2-1 Chippewa's lead, and Falcons are running out of time here.
With just under 17 here left to play, the Falcons need that spark. You've seen a few really good offensive possessions by the Falcons here in this second half, but overall, this Chippewa defense has been nothing short of spectacular.
Washington gets ahead on it. Now Cox has it taken away. Falcons move up front. Ball ends up out on the far sideline as a foul is going to go against Kennedy White up front as she was going for a 50-50 ball. Reed will come up and take this one right at the edge of the defensive third for the Chippewas. As she puts her leg into this one, big booming kick. Jacob gets ahead on it, and now Falcons move up. Cox is going to try to get there, and she does ahead of the Chippewa defender. And it goes out of bounds. Tavit has it and now gets it into Cox. Cox goes to Allen on the send. Allen trying to get down to the end line once again. She has it and stays in. And now it'll go out off the foot of a Chippewa defender, and that'll bring in a substitute for the Falcons.
Sarah Allen's going to go ahead and check out in favor of Ruby Linton, just to give Allen a moment just to walk off the injury she had earlier.
Big throw. Cox gets it in. Ball's in the air in the box. Jacob's going to try to get it back in, and now the Chippewas will clear to midfield. The Falcons will get it outside, and now Audrey Shea has it. She'll move it up over Cox's head. Jacob has it off her foot. Back to Shea on the right side, off the Chippewa clear. Falcons move around the horn, and now Washington got beat to the ball. And almost a foul there, as now there is a foul of push from behind, and that'll be a free kick for the Chippewas right outside the box, about 10 yards outside the box.
And we saw one goal already come off of a penalty kick, so this is another type of that just free kick atmosphere. And the Falcons are really hurting themselves as these silly penalties and fouls are just getting called against them.
So Falcons have a 4-person wall and one Chippewa trying to get their way into that wall. It's either going to be Miyakova or Kaschak taking this free kick. I would imagine they'd want Kaschak to take it off her right foot. How they have it set up. And it will be Kaschak. And here she puts it up. It's a shot. Save made, and it's going to go over top of the goal in a corner kick out on the far side.
Great job there by Duvey, just sending the ball up and over. Knows that she can't catch that ball, so just gives her team another opportunity to defend the goal.
Second corner kick for the Chips as Coleman's out there to take it. On the left foot. Here comes. Falcons able to get it out, but here's a shot into traffic, and the Falcons clear up. As now Britton looks to get it back in. It goes off 2 Falcons and a Chip, and now Washington carries the other way. She leads it up in front, and then Chippewas end up knocking it out. So a throw-in for the Falcons, but before it's made, 3 subs. And that's kind of a momentum killer right there, unfortunately. But Deiselhoff in for and Barnes.
Barnes is checking out.
And Ruber.
The Falcons looking just to get some momentum.
And they're really being pushed back on their heels by this offensive front from the Chippewas as Washington carries up the left side. Washington still with the ball after that contact, gets it down and now goes right on the sideline. Here's a little chip into the box, and it goes out. Sending out now to Ruber on the right side. Ruber racing for the ball. Can she get it before it goes out? And she kept it in. And now the Chips will try to clear, but a bit of a whiff. Ball's in the box, and now it'll be cleared out for a Bowling Green throw by Ruber.
Great job by Ruber just to get down there and keep that ball in bounds to allow this possession just to continue.
Ruber will send it in right on Reed, and she'll come up and make it. And a foul called on the Falcons in the box. We'll give them a free kick right at the 6-yard box.
Yet another opportunity by the Falcons just squandered as they had an opportunity to get that ball into the net. But great defense by the Chippewas.
Just over 11 minutes remaining as that one goes off the head of Jacob. And now Falcons have it. Washington will move to the right side, tries to send it. And Cox and another Falcon chasing, and they'll have to kick it out. So Ruber will have a throw-in.
And yet again, the Chippewas just kick it out of bounds instead of trying to win those little matchups.
Cox, Ruber on the outside. Ruber takes a bit of a heavy touch and goes out of bounds on the near sideline. Falcons running out of time. So we'll see if Matt Fannin maybe has some tricks up his sleeve in the substitution category, and that one will go out of bounds. So a throw-in for Miyakova.
And
now a
clock stoppage.
Clock stoppage as the ball got away from Miyakova. Throw in, and the Falcons will had it, or Ruber had it for a second. Now Jacob slips trying to defend, and now here's a send towards the box. Falcons defense will turn back. Jacob has it go off the Chippewa behind her. So now here's a send into the box as Duver will pick it up and tries to move quickly to the left. As Falcons move the ball up towards midfield. And again, Chippewa fans not happy that there was not a foul called there. Falcons will end up with a throw-in. So they enter their offensive third. Washington gave the throw and now has it. She kicks it off of Chippewa, and she'll have a chance for another throw-in. She had to get it out from behind the subs. Falcons will now move it in on the other side, now move it back towards midfield. Now to the left side. Off the head towards the box. Washington tries to get it to Nikki Cox. Now over to Ruber, and Falcons will have to rally and move it back. As Jacob now has it near midfield on the right side now. Over to the left side. Cox will send it in. And a foul called after the fact to the light of the Chippewas.
And looking at the stats between the first half and the second half, the second half Chippewas have been a lot more aggressive, taking 5 shots on goal, or 5 shots in general in this half to just 3 by the Falcons.
Reed has not had to work much in this half. The Falcons pick up possession, now move it the other way. Jacob will look to move it up to White. Now the Falcons have to get it back for Miakova. Jacob, they'll try to switch fields to the left side. It's now moving it up is Washington. Washington gets fouled from behind. Free kick from the Falcons, or for the Falcons.
This could be a huge kick for the Falcons.
So it looks like Kennedy's going to take it. And another sub coming in
Sarah
at
Allen
the next
for
whistle.
Ruby Linton.
So they wanted to get a little more offensive power in there. Here's the kick. High kick, and able to catch it like a punt there is Reed. And on the subject of football this weekend, Falcons play host to the Battle of I-75. Make sure you tune into that one for the centennial anniversary of Bowling Green football.
Another update for Falcon Sports from Oxford. The Miami Redhawks have taken the third set from the Falcons to win tonight, 3-0. But it's all right. The Falcons will get back to playing later this week as they play on Friday, I believe.
Linton comes out, and the Chippewas are going to have a counterattack going. The Blues up front. She has one to beat, and she beats them in the box and gets the ball knocked away from behind. Jacob has it right outside the box and will carry. She has about 10 yards of clearance. Now goes out to Ruber, and now back to Jacob. Now towards the center for Washington. Washington will try to carry up and passes midfield. And Ruber making a run, just nowhere near that ball. Washington takes a big touch. Now goes to the middle of the box. Here's a head, and it misses. Falcons will have to regroup once again. 6.5 remaining here in the match. Up top, once again, to Blue. Now, Ruber has it. She'll send into the box. Falcons have a run. Here's Nikki Cox trying to get it, and she got a foot on it. Did she kick it off? And it will be a Falcon throw-in down on the right side. We'll see if they start bringing some more personnel up.
Falcons are down to about 6 minutes left in this game, so not very much time for the Falcons to stay in this game.
Here's a send to the box. There's a Falcon there, the head, and just at top of it is Reed able to pull that one down. And she's making a case to get keeper of the week.
Reed, just like most NFL receivers do, jump over the heads of cornerbacks. Reed just goes up and snags that ball off of the head of the Falcon offensive player.
Ruber now looks to carry, gets it to Washington, who passes outside. Now back to Washington in the middle, up front to Williams. That's correction. That was White. Now back to Washington, who looks outside. She has Ruber with room. Going outside now is Allen. Slide tackle, just takes the ball away. Is this will have to be saved by the Falcons. Central now takes possession. Miakova carries against Jacob, who stabs that one away, and now the Chippewas will send in, and it will roll out of bounds on the near side. Falcons have under 5 and another sub coming in. It's going to be Katie Cox, and trying to get a little more offensive firepower are the Falcons.
The defensive player, Alexis Miller, is going to check out. So definitely more offensive presence for the Falcons rather than defense.
As Allen loses the ball. Now Washington has to pass back. Jacob looks to get outside to Ruber and does. Ruber, she has a run and now tries to get into the box. A little too strong on it to get to Cox, who pressures Reed. We're under 4 minutes left. Falcons need to pressure. In danger of losing their first conference game of the season, and would then put them into a tie for first with these Chippewas.
It also would be their first loss at home.
Washington picks it up. Now Cox out to the left side. Back to Cox in the middle where she runs into 2 Chippewas, and now Nikki Cox has it. She's up with it. Gets it over to Ruber on the right side. 3.5 remaining. Ruber now to the left side. Here's a shot from a distance, and it goes wide. So a goal kick rather for Reed.
3 minutes ain't counting for the Falcons.
Zach said not much time left, as Reed's going to take her time putting this ball back in play. High booming kick. And the Chippewas, they don't want to park the bus. I think they want to put the nail in the coffin here as Ruber carries up right side. 8 Falcons now in the offensive third as Ruber loses possession of the ball to Blue. Had it for a brief moment. Now the Falcons take it back to Shea over to the left side now for Kennedy. 2.5 left. Falcons really need to get closer to the goal. Here's a big send in. And now Cox has it. Katie Cox passes back to Jacob, who puts it right back in off the head of a Chippewa. And back up to Maureen Kennedy. Kennedy will fire in off the head. Jacob has it. She'll try to get it back to Maureen Kennedy, and she does on the left side. 2 minutes remaining as this one's going to be kicked up top. Ball's in. And who has it? It goes out. And is it going to be a corner? No, it's going to be ruled a goal kick. Couldn't see who that one went off. And now a goal kick with 1:40 remaining. And Reed is going to take her time. And this dangerous Falcon team, you'd hate to see a penalty kick be the difference of it in the first half, no less, with 25 seconds left. As that one goes off the head of Jacob. And now to the outside, that'll go out of bounds. Falcons need to hurry up as the ball is there. Another ball is on the field, so they have to wait for that one to get off. Now, 1:15. Ruber has it, gets it to Jacob. Central Michigan now trying to park the bus as they only have one up front trying to defend an attack. Here's a shot into the box. Up top is White, and they'll kick the ball out of bounds on the left side. Correction, they'll keep it just inside. Under a minute left. Falcons trying to clear in. Central has it, and they'll clear up. And DeBlue will put a stop at it, and the ball goes out. Falcons have it. They'll toss in. It's now Chippewas, will try to clear it. They don't. Falcons in the box. Here's Washington for the game-tying goal! Washington from Cox. 2-2 here at Cochran with 35 seconds left. And Zach, I look at your face, you're in disbelief.
Chelsea Washington was just uncovered in the box. There were 2 Falcons there to 1 Chippewa defender. Zoe Reed did not know who to cover there. And just like earlier in the season, Chelsea Washington is coming up clutch in an effort just to send these Falcons to an overtime.
Washington from White and Kennedy ties it up. And we may see extra time here tonight, folks. 35 seconds left. As the Chippewas looks like they're going to start the old college kickoff play and send it deep. Going out to get it is Duvey. 30 seconds left. Duvey carries into the box and will pick it up. 24 seconds left in regulation.
Duvey in no hurry to get this ball into play, as I think both teams are just content to send it into overtime.
Duvey now carries outside the box. 10 seconds remaining. Here's a booming kick. She'll send it up. Goes on to the other side, and that's going to just about do it, folks. And to quote Chip Crennan, this game's going into overtime.
Off of Chelsea Washington, no less, so it's almost a direct quote from Chip Crennan. Just great job there by the Falcons. It looked through that second half that they were just tired, and the Chippewas were easily outplaying them. But now the Falcons, who are as dangerous as anybody in college soccer, have an opportunity to put this game into their hands.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and come back in about 2 minutes. Stay tuned. Overtime is coming up next right here on WBGU-TV. Back here at Cochran Stadium, Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith, as we're about to take this one into overtime, as Chelsea Washington scores a game-tying goal with about 30 seconds left. And quick look at the stat lines. Falcons 2 goals on 6 shots on goal, 2 corner kicks. To the Chippewas, 2 goals on 5 shots on goal and 2 corner kicks. And Zach, you had to think this was going to be a dramatic game as soon as that go-ahead penalty kick from the Chippewas, in the first half.
Oh, absolutely. The Falcons, within the first couple of minutes of the first half, were up 1-0, and with about 30-something seconds left on the clock in that first half, there was a very controversial call in the goal box of the Falcons, making it a penalty kick to tie it up. And again, it could very well be over, as a ball almost went in to end the first half. But the Falcons had clock on their side and went into the half 1-1. Then going into that second half, the Chippewas came out swinging. The Chippewas were in control for most of that game, and then just like that first half, in the last 30 seconds, everything changed. It is not over until that final whistle sounds, and the Falcons behind Chelsea Washington are now in overtime.
And we see this change matches all the time. A goal right before the game would end to go to overtime. We see it in hockey. We see it in soccer. We see it all the time. Do you think this is going to shift any momentum in the favor of the Falcons.
Well, I definitely think the momentum is with the Falcons right now, not just because of that, but because the fans are all here. I heard earlier about 300-something fans are in attendance for this Thursday night affair here in Bowling Green, Ohio. So I definitely think momentum is with the Falcons and their goalkeeper, Kathleen Duvey, who's just had a great game.
Duvey's looked good so far. She's allowed 2 goals. She has 3 saves. Reed, 2 goals on 3 saves as well. Falcons have 13 shots. Both teams have 13 shots. Falcons and both teams have 5 shots on goal. Chippewas started off. They're going to try to end this early as the Falcons clear. Falcons still moving left to right. Thanks for tuning in here on WBGU TV's live stream. Falcons have it. Washington sends it into the box. Reed's going to come out and pick it up. And the Falcons wanted to end that one quickly. Reed has it. And just a reminder, 2 10-minute periods of golden goal overtime. So if no one scores here in the first period of overtime, we have 10 more minutes. But if someone does score, the match will end. Falcons have it on the back line now as Kennedy looks to move it up.
And the big thing from the first 2 halves of play before overtime,
Washington sends it up front now on the left side. Falcons have it. Allen carries into the box. Allen looks to shoot. She shoots, and the ball is saved there by Reed. She has a kick save to give the Falcons a corner kick.
but the big story was fouls. 25 combined fouls in that first half, including plenty of offsides. So that's going to have to be a big thing that the Falcons got to watch out for.
Maureen Kennedy to take the corner. The Falcons will leave 1 back. Everyone up on the 6-yard box. The Falcons want to try to end it right here, right now. As the kick is up, and it's headed out towards where Kennedy is. Maureen Kennedy will try to send it back in up top. Here's a head on it, and Reed will have to go for it. She'll watch that one, then go out the back line for a goal kick, and everyone scrambles back up to around midfield. 3rd corner kick of the day for the Falcons. Reed will look to get this to a weak part of the Falcons defense. She ends up going right towards midfield. Falcons pick it up. As now up front, Allen chased it. It'll go out on the left side. So Falcon throw. As Allen will try to get it in. Ball's still in. It was close there on that far side as the Chippewas try to clear it. I don't know why I'm having so much of an issue with this, as again, Bowling Green ball. The Central Michigan Chippewas. As I can't see who is making the throw there. It might be Washington. As Cox has it. Chippewas want a handball, but no call, and they will come back and call it after the advantage was lost. So a handball, I believe, going against Nikki Cox. Chippewa free kick on the other side of midfield, and you don't usually see a team do this, have their goaltender come all the way up for this is kind of a dangerous area, especially in a golden goal overtime.
Oh, absolutely. And especially earlier, Zoe Reed did this, and then the Falcons onto something decided to pressure.
Kick into the box, headed towards the goal, and now the Falcons able to clear towards the right side. Washington looks to clear up and does. The Falcons pressuring the Chippewas. So now here's a shot to the box. And Duvey will just pick it up and let it roll to her. A long throw to the left side. So Falcons will have to try to get it. And now the Blue has it. No, I believe they call a handball right around midfield again. So I believe it's going to be Kennedy to take the free kick.
Duvey, unlike her counterpart Reed, has really used her arm to throw the ball when she makes those saves, whereas Reed just boots.
This ball is back in play into the box. Dangerous spot for the Chippewas. It goes out. Is that going to be another corner for the Falcons? And it is. So Kennedy will work her way down to the far corner as the Falcons getting some more chances, really trying to put their foot on the gas here early as we have about 5 minutes remaining in the first Golden Goal overtime period.
And Reed playing a little reckless as that ball started to go out. She went up, tried to swat it, but it obviously went out of bounds.
Here it comes. It's in the box. Headed out by the Chippewas. Ruber slips trying to make the play, and now inside. Falcons able to keep it. Good job by Dieselhoff there to keep it in the offensive third. Now the Chippewas trying to carry out. So they get a little bit of a send. Falcons defense steps up in a big way.
There go the Falcons.
As Falcons had a run going there. Now Ruber has it in the middle of the field. Or correction, that's Alexis Miller wearing number 27. Looked like a 20 for a second from where I was standing. So now the Chippewas will look to send up again. And Samantha K. Torrell will lose it out of bounds, but off a Falcon foot. So Chippewas throwing in front of the Falcons bench. As Torrell goes down for it once again, she's going to look to cross into the box. Defending is Dieselhoff. Ends up kicking it out. So it's going to be a throw-in right by the corner flag.
And really smart heads-up play by the Falcons. Instead of letting the ball get even close to a corner kick, just sending it out of bounds for the throw-in.
So the Chips looking to send this one into the box. They leave 3 back to stop any counterattacks. Speaking of which, here comes Allen on the counterattack. Moves up the left side and loses the ball. And a hand is called. It went off Allen's hand. So Reed will come up, take another free kick as Chippewas put a lot of trust in their goaltender to get back to her crease in time. 3 minutes left in the first Golden Goal period. Here's the kick. It's up. Falcons get ahead on it and now try to get it up. Nikki Cox controls, now tries to carry. She's got Ruber out to the right, who ends up getting it off a deflection. 2.5 left in the first Golden Goal period. Now Washington in the center goes back to Miller. Now to the left side to Kennedy, who puts a little too much on that one, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Chips with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first overtime period.
The Falcons really are being pretty aggressive in this sudden death overtime, as both teams are playing really good defense and they have throughout this game.
Jacob had the ball, found its way over to Washington, who's going to carry on the left side. Now sends up front, top. Is that Nikki Cox has it, and she'll have it knocked away from her, and it looks like we'll have another corner kick for the Falcons.
The other big thing to note is
Kennedy.
time.
1:40 left in the first overtime period.
That could be the biggest factor of this game so far is that clock. Yes, it's a corner kick, and yes, it's on the Central Michigan side of the field, but in about a minute, they're going to blow that whistle and send it in the second overtime, so big kick here.
Corner kick number 5 for the Falcons. Kennedy puts her foot into it. It's in the air, in the box. Just missed the goal to the right. Off the head of Washington, who is looking to end it. As coming in his spots for Kennedy White. 1 minute left in the first overtime period. This game has already had 2 goals in the last minute of play of both periods. And as I say that, Cox was almost offsides and ended up saving herself. Under a minute now as the Falcons look to carry up. Washington trying to get it. Washington now has it on the left side. 30 seconds. Gets it. Tries to get it in. Here's a shot. Blocked in front. Actually, it might have gone off a Falcon foot. Cox has it. Now on the outside again. Allen puts a shot in. Saved. Made by Reed. With under 20 seconds remaining. Reed's going to take her time here and hope her Chippewas can regroup in the second overtime period.
And the
And
Chippewas.
that's going to just about do it for the first overtime period. As the whistles blow. 2-2 here. 7 shots on goal, 2 goals for the Falcons. 6 shots on goal, 2 goals for the Chippewas. 5 corner kicks for the Falcons, 2 for the Chips.
10 minutes decides this game. It could end in one of 2 ways for the Falcons. A win, a loss, or even a third way, a tie. To keep that undefeated stand at home going.
Nikki Cox and Chelsea Washington have really been the offense for the Falcons, and even you have to take a look at Jacob. Nikita Jacob has been up front with those forwards a few times.
And the other big thing with Nikita Jacob is she's been playing stellar defense as well. As much as she's been up there helping Cox and Washington, she has also been a key part of that defensive front that for most of this game has really been the main reason the Falcons are still in it.
Riley Mann will be checking in to start the second overtime period, which will start in about 1 minute.
So overall, great job by the Falcons. And again, looking at stats for a little bit, in that first period of play for the Falcons, they had 3 offsides penalties called onto them to 1 by Central Michigan. In the second half, to get back into this game, 3 offsides by Central Michigan, nothing by the Falcons. So playing clean soccer has really helped these Falcons get back into this game and even just get it tied to where it is right now as we get into 20 seconds left in this brief little intermission period.
So the teams will switch sides, so the Falcons will now be moving right to left while the Chips move left to right. As 10 minutes to decide the fate of this. If the Falcons win, they maintain sole possession of first. If they lose, they'll at least be in a tie with Central. But if these teams draw tonight, the standings will remain about the same, except for the point value.
Also worth mentioning, Ball State is tied with Central Michigan with 9 points. So, pending what goes on with Ball State, this game could take on a whole new meaning. And the ball's tipped off by the Falcons, so Washington is going to send it to the far side from Cox. Falcons looking to put this game on ice. Zach Smith, I'm joined along Jacob Seidel here at Cochran Stadium. And it is sudden death at this point as the Falcons send it up to the Chippewa side of the field. Chelsea Washington pushing it up to Cox, and it's sent back by the Chippewas, but won by the Falcons. Allen looking for a place to go, sends it over to Disselhoff, excuse me. Disselhoff to Washington. Washington's got Cox, and Reed just dives on it. Whistle,
and that's
though.
going to be a foul on Nikki Cox. She pushed her defender out of the way trying to get to that ball. So a free kick in the middle of the box for Reed of the Chippewas.
Reed just really has been almost perfect tonight other than the 2 goals. She has made some great catches. That ball's going to be sent to midfield. Header won by the Falcons, but the ball belongs to the Chippewas. 8 minutes, just under 9 minutes here to decide this game. The first 10 minutes was already played, so one more period of overtime. Falcons looking to push it up, and that is Nikita Jacob, who we've said her name quite a few times tonight as her presence on offense and defense has been unbelievable. Ball's going to go out of bounds, so throw in for the Falcons. who look to put this game on ice. Jacob passes back up to the far side, and yet another throw-in for the Falcons. This all coming off of a Chelsea Washington goal with the last 30 seconds in the second period to send it to this overtime. The Falcons looking. They are in the goal box, passes it to the far side, but deflected out of bounds and just sent back to midfield. Header won by the Falcons. And it's getting definitely chippy on the field as both teams striving for a win. Jacob to the far side. Good speed. She's got a lane. And nice snag there by the goalkeeper, Zoe Reed. Snags that out of the air. That ball's going to be sent back to midfield, where the Falcons, and that's Nikita Jacob yet again. And that ball's going to be sent back up to the far side over to Ruber. Sent back to midfield, and it's going to be sent across the field to Dieselhoff. Dieselhoff to Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington's got a lane. Passes it to Allen on the left side and slide tackled. Maria Kaschok saw that lane open up to Allen. Sarah Allen had a shot and just sent out of bounds for a corner kick for the Falcons.
Corner kick number 8, I believe, for the Falcons.
Maureen Kennedy is going to be back there to take it. Kennedy sends it. And the header goes over the net. Perfect positioning for the Falcons, just a little too much on it. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Falcons. Or, excuse me, goal kick for the Chippewas. Just about to hit 6 minutes here left in this overtime. Reed back there to take the kick, as she has done so many times tonight. And she'll send it to midfield. Washington's header just sends it into the Bowling Green side of the field. And Ruber will just send it to midfield in an effort to reset.
So Central Michigan fans getting a little chippy, it seems. And there was actually no pun intended there. They've just been loud.
Allen's got the ball and sends it back to the defense and just past the Bowling Green defender. Chelsea Washington is over there trying to put some pressure on the ball. And it's going to be sent out of bounds for a throw-in for BG.
The Chippewas have really seemed knocked off their momentum since that game, or pardon me, match-tying goal by Chelsea Washington. And a high kick there might have been ignored by the officiating crew.
The officiating crew has had some controversy tonight as the Falcons are trying to stay undefeated here at Cochran Stadium. And great save there by Kathleen Duvey. That ball just sent towards the far side of the goal, but saved by the Falcons. Sent up through the Falcons to midfield. That's Cox on the far side. Cox has nobody in front of her. Cox looking, shooting, and oh, great stop there by Reed.
Perfect positioning by Reed there. Cox thought she might have her beat down low, but just dropped down and was able to put her hands on it. Cox tried to fool her, make her think she was going up high.
Reed definitely deserves a medal or a great dinner or something. Reed has put on a show tonight. Falcons pushing up the far side yet again. Looks to be Ruber. Ruber sends it up. Can't see the number on that far side. Nikita Jacob sends it back to midfield. And it's sent back over to Dieselhoff. Dieselhoff up. And that is Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington on a shot. And Reed continues to be tested, but she stands up to it as we are under 4 minutes here in the second overtime period.
And while the Chippewas defense started to look a bit like Swiss cheese, Reed has been standing strong the entire match.
And Chippewas, nobody in front of the Chippewa player, but it gets sent out of bounds. Great bounce back play there by Kennedy. Checking in, Kennedy White's going to come on in for number 23, Lindsay Spots. Definitely offensive power in this game. Falcon throw-in, sent up to Cox, and it's going to get sent out of bounds. Chippewa throw-in. 3 minutes and counting here at Cochran Soccer Stadium. Throw-in a little long. Nikita Jacob wins it and booted up to midfield. Allen's motioning, and it's a Chippewa ball.
Allen thought she got that one to go off the cleat of the Chippewa defender, but officiating crew not fooled there.
Allen back to Nikita Jacobs, who gets it just sent back up to midfield. Chelsea Washington on the far side. Washington is moving down the field, sends it up for Allen. It's a foot race. And it's just going to be sent out of bounds by the Chippewas. That's Cassidy Pettinger. And a corner kick for the Falcons. As yet again, Kennedy is going to go back and kick it.
And there's too much time now, but you have to think if the Falcons get another corner kick, they might send all 10 regular fielders up.
2 minutes and counting here. Zach Smith, Jacob Seidel. Tie game here for the Falcons. Kennedy's kick sent. And header won by the Chippewas as that almost looked to be in the goal. Kennedy is going to get the ball back sent, and she's just going to send it over for Reed in a matter of resetting. Minute 30. Reed's kick. High, Boomer. And it's going to be sent down on the other side of the field as the Chippewas just trying to hold on. Ruber sends it upfield. Chelsea Washington on the left side. Sends it. And good defense by the Chippewas. Sent. And on the crossbar. But goal! Goal by the Falcons as it bounces off the crossbar and directly to the Falcons. Great shot there by the Falcons.
Was that Nikki Cox?
Looks to be Nikki Cox as there's a pile on the left side.
Okay, thank you.
Great game here by the Falcons. That goal was by Kennedy White. Great shot there by the Falcons. With 59 seconds left on the clock, the Chippewas walk away defeated, and the Falcons get up off the pile. Great job by the Falcon offense.
3 of 5 goals scored with under a minute left here. Falcons end up winning this one in overtime. And what a match it was.
Oh,
what
absolutely.
A match.
Absolutely. The Falcons came into this game first in the MAC. The Chippewas and Ball State are directly behind them with 9 points coming into this game. The Falcons come into this not only securing undefeated in the MAC as of now, but they're still undefeated at home. This is a very tough team to beat. And this soccer squad, these Lady Falcons, look fantastic.
Bowling Green will now remain in first place in the MAC with 15 points, while Ball State stays at second with 9, along with Central Michigan. Thank you for tuning in here tonight. Quick thank you to our production team from WBGU-TV, as well as Donovan Mann, the executive director of the Radio Sports organization, for putting Zach and I in this game. And a big thanks to Zach Smith. Got to call his first game-winning goal tonight.
Fantastic job by the Falcons. I couldn't have done it without that squad.
Remember to tune in on Saturday for RSO coverage of BGSU versus Toledo. Until then, this is Jacob Seidel and Zach Smith signing off on WBGU-TV. Roll along, Falcon fans.